Hello, this is Fred Carbone with Carbone Family Vineyard. I thought it was time to give another update on how things are going with our little family vineyard. It's been a pretty good year. I would say things are looking fairly nice. We've got lots of grapes for the Vineyard that have already gone through good bunch closure. I'm going to try to walk you down the same rows that I did last time we did so you can see where we're at. So looking over a row, many of our Vineyard clusters have already closed. Still green fruit, but looking like the cluster is now closing up and there isn't as much wind and moisture getting in there. The Syrah is still much more open. We didn't have as good a berry set on the Syrah, so the clusters for many of the vines are smaller and not as filled out. Going down the rows, one of our biggest trouble was mildew. You can see some of our vines, like this one right here, don't have a whole lot of leaves in the inside because the mildew took them all. It turns out that I had been using just the stylet oil every 2 weeks, and we found that that wasn't enough to keep the mildew at bay. So more recently, I have been spraying every week, alternating stylet oil with Calagreen and Serenade. One of my friends also got me some Flint, which really helped kill off the active mildew. Really wondering what to do with some of the vines like this one that have lots of shoots but not a lot of fruit. Maybe there's something I can do at this point to help it for next year. Not quite sure what to do on that. Farther down the vineyard, you can see we've got nice growth throughout the middle. Most everything made it up to the second and third wire. Now we're looking more at the Syrah vines, and the ones on this end of the vineyard are a little more advanced. They're doing a little bit better than the other ones. You can see in the sun here, more of these are closer to closure, bigger clusters, much more fruit, looking pretty good. We're hoping to get, I would say, 5 gallons or 1 full carboy with the Vineyard this year. And ideally about 3 carboys with the Syrah. This again is all Syrah in through here. I'm turning the Syrah into rosé. That seems to be the best use of our grapes in this vineyard. Again, some of these clusters are looking pretty good and pretty full, if you can see them. One of the characteristics of mildew is you get these spots, these kind of brownish spots on the stems. And on the leaves, they turn kind of yellow and drop off. So you can see there's still some areas where there's mildew. I'm leaving them kind of open right now. We're going to tuck them in a little bit better before we put the nets on in the beginning of August. Somewhere in this vineyard, there is 1 purple grape. That's the closest we've got to veraison. I like to see a lot more before we net. Here's another one. I've got spots like this in the vineyard. Maybe some of you guys that do a lot more farming than me can kind of tell me what's going on. Don't know why I've got the grapes or the leaves looking the way they do, but there are areas where we've got this kind of yellowing and reddening of the leaves. Very early for that. I don't typically expect that until very late in the season. But again, you know, things are looking better than they have in the last couple of years. But still some areas of roughness, and still I could be a better farmer. That's always the case. And coming along as we approach the harvest, which I expect to have happen somewhere late September or maybe early October. Again, it's middle of July. Today's July 12th, and this is Fred Carbone for Carbone Family Vineyard.